Guys, today you're gonna watch a biggest chess upset of 2023. Kazakhstanian grandmaster Alisher Suleymenov managed to beat world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. And not only that, he actually managed to beat him by sacrificing two of his pieces and creating a spectacular attack, and Magnus was simply powerless. He had to resign. This game is truly spectacular, and please don't miss it because you're gonna regret it. So without further ado, we will go straight into the game. Suleymenov opened the game with d4, we have knight f6, we have c4 and e6 played for black. Game continued with knight f3, we have b6 for black with the idea to fianchetto this bishop or push this bishop on a6. We have a3 for white with the idea to stop this bishop of coming on b5, and also later white will be able to push this bishop when he arrives on c5. Our game continued with bishop a6 for Magnus Carlsen attacking this pawn, and Suleymenov responds by playing queen c2 and defending this pawn. Magnus returns this bishop on a much better square, and we continue the game with knight c3 for white. Game continued with c5, a common idea in Queen's Indian defense. Black tries to undermine this center with this move. White continues with e4. White tries to grab the center as soon as possible, and we have c takes on d4 and knight takes on d4 for white. Game continued with bishop c5 for black, and right now we have knight f3 played for Suleymenov. Computer marks this as an inaccuracy and actually recommends playing knight b3 as a better move, slightly better move, although this is not a mistake. So after knight f3 we have knight c6 for Magnus, and we have b4. The idea with a3 was there, and now white plays b4, pushing away this dark squared bishop. We have bishop e7 for black, and we have bishop b2 played for white. Game continued with queen b8 for Magnus, and we have a rook d1 now played for white. So white's idea obvious, he wants to take the advantage of this semi-open file, and he also wants to castle on the king side. Game continued with castle for Magnus, and we have bishop e2 now played for white. d6 played for black, and we have castle for white, normal move. Magnus now continues with rook c8 to try and pressure this pawn on c4, and white now plays rook f to e1, trying to defend this pawn when this bishop is moved. Computer sees this as a slight inaccuracy and actually recommends playing h3 here with the idea to stop this knight from coming on this square. But this is just a computer calculation. After this move we have bishop f8 played for Magnus Carlsen, a slight inaccuracy again by the computer. Of course the position is equal, knight e5 was a better option for black, but Magnus decided for bishop f8. We have bishop f1 now played for white. White now wants to open the protection of this pawn and also to try and open the e-file. We have knight e7 now played for Magnus Carlsen. Computer sees this as an inaccuracy and again recommends playing this knight on e5 and offering a trade as a better option. We have knight to b5 now played for white. White now wants to attack this pawn. This is pretty obvious, and now we have knight e8. Magnus decided to defend this a pawn with this knight going back. Computer sees this actually as a mistake that kind of ruins black's position, and after knight b5 the best for black was to actually play knight g6. You open this bishop and then you defend the pawn. Our game continued with, of course, knight e8, and now we have the first good move of the position, which is knight g5. Now white sees that these squares are becoming weak and he wants to try and exploit that. We have knight g6 now played for Magnus, and white now continues with e5. White now wants to open his files. Game continued with d5. For now Magnus refuses. Computer after this move sees that actually instead of this bishop c6 was the better option. Slight inaccuracy by Magnus according to the computer, but d5 was played, and we have queen b3 now played for white. We have bishop e7, and right now we are already in the critical part of the position because at this moment white decided to sacrifice one of his pieces. Truly a wonderful sacrifice, but before I show you this, I would kindly ask of you that if you enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share this video with people who enjoy chess, because word of mouth referrals like this really help my channel grow. Thank you so much. Also, if you wish, you can donate. I will leave the link in the description of this video, and each and every donation will be listed as you see on the screen there. Thank you so much in advance, I couldn't do this without your help. So now first brilliant sacrifice by Suleymenov comes, and it is knight picks up on f7. Now the best move for black which was played in the game is to actually pick up this knight, nothing else works. Game continued with c picks up on d5, another important move for white in this position. Magnus continues with bishop takes on d5, and right now this queen is under attack. But Suleymenov doesn't care about that. In the style of Mikhail Tal, he sacrifices his rook. A rook picks up on d5, another brilliant move. The idea is that after e takes on d5, which was played in the game, and queen picks up on d5 with a check, king now goes on f8. The point of all of these sacrifices is that now black doesn't have the defender of these white squares, and these white squares will be really weak, and now also white is allowed to go on e3 and then attack with f3. With his rook, of course. So this is the idea behind these two sacrifices, the weak white squares around black king. Game continued with knight d4 now for Suleymenov. Magnus tries with knight f4, right now attacking this queen. Suleymenov retreats his queen to f3 and right now pins this knight. Magnus sees that it is too late to defend this knight, and he goes with his king on g8 to try and save what can be saved. Suleymenov continues with queen picking up on f4, and right now Magnus plays queen b7. Suleymenov now continues with knight f5. This bishop is under attack, but it is defended at the moment. But the most important thing is you have another piece in the attack on this weak black king. Magnus doesn't know what to do, and he tries with b5 in order to try and cut away this bishop, but white accepts this sacrifice and he plays a bishop picks up on b5. Unfortunately for Magnus, you cannot pick up this bishop because we have knight picking up on e7, and after king goes on h8, queen f8 is checkmate. So after bishop picking up on b5, Magnus decided to play bishop f8 to somehow try and open this 7th rank queen to defend this pawn and try and hold the position. But game continued with bishop c4 now played for white. Right now you can either sacrifice your piece and continue the game with much worse position, or you can play king h8, which was played in the game by Magnus Carlsen. And now the nail in the coffin of the black's position is knight h6, and after this move Magnus Carlsen resigned. He resigned because there is nothing he can do. One of the continuations that Magnus could have tried is maybe queen e7, but then white would continue with knight f7 check. The only remaining square is g8, and after that knight d6 check. After king goes on h8, we can simply pick up this rook, and after rook picks up on c8, we continue with queen e4. White actually has 2 pawns of the advantage, and not only that, he has a devastating attack against black king, and the position evaluation is actually +5 for white. So the position is completely lost for Magnus Carlsen, and he of course saw that, and he saw that there was nothing he can do. You have another grandmaster across you, and there is no way you can try and defend this position. And this is how this game ended, and this is all I have prepared for you today. As always, if you enjoyed this game, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share this video because it really helps me a lot. Also, let me know your thoughts about this position. What do you think about this upset? Is Suleymenov a next future star of the chess game? Let me know in the comments, of course. I always enjoy reading them. And if you wish, you can also donate to my channel. You can become a channel member. Each new donations on PayPal will be listed on my screen. I really appreciate all of your support, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.